Hi friends and fellow earth angels, it's Gladys and welcome back to another one of my pick a pile readings. And I really enjoyed the process I did last time with my pick a pile messages from the Archangel Michael. And so I'm going to choose 3 topics using the numerology guidance cards. I'm going to pull them right here. And then what I'll do is I'll continue to pick the piles on camera with the Keepers of the Light cards. The answer is simple, Nature's Whispers, and we'll finish with an affirmation. So I really liked not knowing and allowing it to unfold naturally. So let me open up space. I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to open up space, inviting in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God, source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light who would like to assist with this guidance for you today. And I'm going to ask that the messages that come through be for your best and highest good, and the best and highest good for the Earth Angel Collective. All right, so tapping into that divine love, divine wisdom, divine power, and I'm going to choose our 3 topics. So what is the first topic for the collective? Let's try this the way. Okay, so we'll go first with number 1, new beginnings. Then we have, happy ending, number 93. And then we have, wow, completion, number 9. Friends, if that can't be any more clear, as we're in mid-November, getting ready to finish a 10-year decade, there's a lot of endings and completion right now, and there's a lot of new beginnings. So you may feel in your heart, you already know, based on color, based on number, based on the word, you may be inspired to watch all 3, and there could be nuggets of information of value in each one. You could listen to one and then come back in a couple weeks, and you might be guided to something else. So, I really want to encourage you to trust your intuition on this. If you're watching one and it doesn't seem to be resonating with you, feel free to just grab another one. Maybe you'll be talking to somebody throughout the week, and that pile that you chose might resonate with them. So please share along. And let me get into picking the rest of the cards. So if you want to stay along with me and watch how the cards flat out, that may help you make a better, intuitive decision on which pile you want or which will benefit you. Or I'm going to put the timestamps in the description below. You can skip ahead, as well as I'll put the decks that I'm using in the description below as well. Okay, so let's go into Keepers of the Light. What guide wants to come out for those who choose pile 1, new beginnings? What guide wants to work with pile 1, new beginnings? Go. And what guide wants to work with pile 2, happy ending? Let's see. Guide wants to work with pile 2, happy ending. Okay. And pile 3, completion. Guide wants to work with pile 3, completion. Let's go with this. And the answer is simple. What additional messages do you have for pile 1? Way too many. I think there was like 8 of them there. Pile 1. Let's go with this one. Pile 2. What additional messages do you have for pile 2? Okay, so 2 came out for this. And pile 3. What messages do you have for pile 3? Best and highest. Okay, Nature's Whispers. It's a continuation. What message of love do you have for pile 1? This one, pile 2. What message of love do you have for pile 2? And pile 3. I think I'm going to go with this one. Random. And then finally, the Gateway Oracle cards. Overall message, an affirmation for pile 1. Wow. Okay. So we'll go with this one. Overall message, an affirmation for pile 2. Overall message and affirmation for pile 3. Okay, friends. Let's see. So let's get back to it here. Them in the order of the way they came out. Okay, friends. So if you have not made a decision yet, again, we have new beginnings. We have happy ending for pile 2, and we have completion for pile 3. I think those 3 overall couldn't be any more clear. Cycles, I think that's the overall message for the collective, endings and completion of cycles. So let's get into it. Okay, so for those of you who chose pile 1, the number 1 card, welcome. 1 is all about new beginnings. We just entered this 11/11 portal. We have in a few days the new moon in Sagittarius that's coming in. Now would be a really great time to set intentions for that 2020 energy. And really be mindful of what you're clearing out these last month and a half. So the guide that came forward is Mercury. Open communication. Let's see here. It says, get a weight off your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. So one of the messages that I'm being guided to share is how earth angels have a tendency, and it's a protective thing, it's a safety thing, to swallow back or to hold back, and not say how we really feel. And this year, for a lot of earth angels, we've been encouraged through challenges to speak up. And in turn, we've gotten more in touch with our feelings, and we're able to express that in better ways. So for some of you who chose pile 1, I feel that some of you may still have stuff bottled up that needs to be said, that needs to be expressed, and Mercury is going to help with that. So if the old ways of holding back, swallowing things back, ignoring, procrastinating on because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, it's that wounded people pleasing, right? So a lot of earth angels that have had shock and trauma as a child, you've learned to keep the peace and please. Because it's been safe. It's a safe space. Okay, when everybody's happy, then I'm happy and I'm okay and I'm safe. If people are arguing and yelling, like, what do I do? This is the old wounds. What do I do to make it better? So I feel like what's happening here is practicing healthy ways to express yourself to get your needs met. And again, you may make mistakes with it. There may be hiccups and bumps along the way, but if you can get to the heart of the matter of how you feel, there's been a lot of shedding, especially with soul groups, family dynamics, friendships. There's been a lot of shakeups in those areas, even with like coworkers and stuff. There's been a lot of shakeups. And so now you may have an opportunity to communicate and speak to people in a different way. Or maybe you have attracted or created new friendships and new paradigms and new energies of people around you. And you can get to the heart of how you're feeling now. If you're still in a place of putting your needs aside and taking care of everybody, what's going to happen is you're still going to be in that place of what about me? How dare you? How could you? Which could be the energy of anger, resentment, and bitterness. And sometimes we have to have that experience in order to be able to transform it. A lot of earth angels in 2019 were separating from the energies of like codependency, 3D, 5D, however you want to connect with the energy. And so there has been this individualization process. There's been a lot of talk about the harmony of the inner masculine and feminine. And I feel like Mercury is going to help you get to the heart of, well, what is it that I want? How do I want to feel? And then being able to express those things in the world. So the answer and simplest card is, turn on the light. Again, here is a number of 5. We have more orange energy. Orange energy is about the sacral chakra. It's about pleasure. It's about enjoyment. And what's interesting too is in multiple sessions this week, and then with myself included, the word pleasure has been coming up. And earth angels can have a tendency to sacrifice their own pleasure to meet others' needs. And so by pleasure, I mean enjoyment. What lights you up? What makes you happy? And especially with the dynamic of partnerships or friendships or these new soul groups, like, you have an opportunity. You have a golden opportunity to handpick consciously the people, places, things, and ideas that you want in this lifetime. But also remember, you're choosing for lifetimes ahead and lifetimes forward. So I feel like the divine is encouraging you to turn on the light, meaning open your heart to the divine God, source, creator, universe to assist you. Because I can definitely from experience understand that not knowing what I want. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. When you don't know, you don't know. When you know, you do better, right? And so a lot of earth angels can have experiences and programs of society that turn you into what everybody else wants you to be. And so 2018 and 19 were about the shedding of that and a part of like the individual self. And so as you're going through this process of new beginnings, approaching things in a new way, if the whole passive aggressive, get angry, block, ignore, procrastinate isn't working for you, I feel like the new beginnings card and Mercury is going to help you find a new way. And so even open communication with God and the divine. Some of you may have old wounds from past lives, if you believe in past lives, but even in this lifetime, you can have old wounds to communication with God. If sometimes with religious upbringing, they can use God as punishment, like, oh, don't do that, God is watching, or God's going to punish you. And that, I call it like the fear love, right, to kind of keep control. And again, I'm not bashing either way. It's just an energy that is outdated and doesn't need to be, we don't need to be in that energy anymore. And so for some of you, it could be with your soul groups, with your friends, with your families, being able to speak when saying, wait a minute, this is how I want to feel and this is what I need. Another part of the collective who chose pile 1, this could be in your relationship to the divine and God. And maybe you found this channel because you're exploring and you want to know what that energy is. Now, I certainly share often that when I started this process, this spiritual journey that I've been on, God wasn't on the scope. Angels and guides and stuff was a starting point for me. And then it became so much more. And so this is how smart and wise God is. He sent his armies of angels to reach me in a place that I was open, and then brought me back slowly but surely to the light. And so some of you could be healing old wounds to conditioning and old beliefs and religions, maybe that you are a part of, that no longer match your vibration anymore. And so the Nature's Whispered card says vulnerability. So we have the 34 here. 3 plus 4 equals 7. 7 is an energy of inner work. It's an energy of spirituality and transformation. I personally was on a 7-year. My personal year this year was 7, and I did a lot of shadow work. I did a lot of inner work. And so I feel like this card is encouraging you to go within. You can see this person right here, this energy. It's like she's meditating, she's sleeping, she's resting. So for some of you, understand that the answers to the next steps are going to come from within. It's going to be open communication with the divine. Speak up with love and be heard. God, source, creator, that energy abides by the law of free will, and it doesn't intervene. No guides, no beings intervene unless we're asking if they're in the higher light. Of course, there's lower vibrational energies that will certainly interrupt and intervene and manipulate and cause trouble. I kind of call them like the wayward energies, but as long as you're working in the light, as long as you're calling on Archangel Michael, enveloped in that energy, it's very rare that you're going to connect with that low vibrational energy. So, again, that's that part of speaking up and asking that the universe protect you and keep you safe. You may be in a vulnerable space right now. You may feel like you're in a new world. You may feel the sense of loneliness or isolation or separation. You may be feeling grief from what was and not necessarily sure what will be. Understand that 2020 is a manifesting, it's a creating energy. And so you're in the process of like purging and releasing and shedding these old paradigms that you've outgrown. And it's just as simple as outgrowing a pair of pants, from when you were in kindergarten. It's just part of the growth process. There's no judgment on kids who outgrow their pants, from 5-year-olds to a 10-year-old. It's just part of the process of growth. And so understand your spiritual journey is this way too. It's not necessarily good or bad. It's this is happening and this is happening, and it's a beautiful thing. And so finally, the affirmation is taking action. It says, I enthusiastically embrace life's boundless possibilities. Once again, I enthusiastically embrace life's boundless possibilities. So when you can release the rigidness of how you want things to be, of control, it opens up the divine to come in and support you in ways that you never dreamed possible. So I feel like one of the messages here is saying you're going through a transformation. You may be feeling vulnerable and sensitive right now, and you're going to be inspired to take action soon. And you want to make sure that you've reinforced your ability to communicate and tap into the essence of your own self and your own needs to be able to express that to others, to be able to know the people you work well with and the people that you no longer want to work with. And again, that's all okay. So I feel like those of you who chose pile 1, you may be in the midst of a transformation process. Again, these feelings of loneliness or sadness or isolation or unsurety can come up because it's almost like you're leaving. It's almost like you're leaving one home that you knew really well and were comfortable, but outgrew the space. And now you're moving into another space and there's all these, I don't know what's going to happen. Can I do this? I'm not really sure. And so you're still in the transitional place. So now would be a great time to continue to clear out and get rid of things you definitely know you don't need anymore. You can actually do this with your physical material world. Clean out closets, maybe food, your food pantries, your refrigerators. Start shedding things that you no longer need anymore. If there are clothes that are outdated or you're sick of wearing, donate them, recycle them. This would be a really great time to do some clearing and some purging as we finish out this 2019 energy. There's no coincidence here that you're getting ready to leap over. There's not necessarily a bridge here, but the canal here is short enough that you can take the leap. So you're almost there. I love it. All right. So for those of you who chose pile 1, thank you for watching. Of course, please like, share, subscribe, all the things. If you feel guided to work with me, the information is in the description box below. And I thank you for watching. Okay, and for those of you who chose pile 2, card number 93, happy ending. I love it. Welcome. Let me just get a read on this energy. So I am getting an energy of... There's so much light on this. This is symbolic. There's so much light. So one of the messages I'm hearing is not all endings have to be tumultuous, chaotic, painful, difficult. That's an old paradigm. So I feel like your guides right now, those of you who chose pile 2, are wanting to shine a light on the possibility that things can be ending for you. Cycles could be ending, relationships, experiences, old beliefs, old ways of doing things. But also understand it can be a happy ending and there can be a lot of aha moments. So for some of you who chose this pile, I want to shine a light maybe on negative thinking. This is going to be the worst. It's never going to get better. And being able to be mindful that it doesn't have to be that way. The guide that came in, Paul the Venetian, experiencing grace. Absolutely. It says, share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming for you. So I think when this, then this. I mean, there's no coincidence that the colors coincide here, like the purple energy and the yellow energy. So and I'm not saying everybody who chose this pile is, so please just take in what resonates. If there's grumpy energy, I feel like that's how I want to express it. If there's grumpy energy around you or within you, it can keep you from the possibilities of what could be. And I feel like this happy ending card is saying, like, yeah, things may be ending, you may feel out of control, but as you have patience and trust in the divine and trust in the process and what is the word? Divine guidance, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. It's worth it. It's worth everything you've done up until this point is worth it, and there's a reason for it. I also feel like they don't want you to continue with bad habits that aren't helping keeping your energy refreshed and replenished. I want to take a peek at his card here. See what he has to say. Hold on one second. So the message here says he brings waves of good energy, grace, and encouragement, and works with all artists, musicians, designers, and anyone else who needs support in channeling their talents. So that being said, another thing that may come up is you may have started things that aren't speaking to your soul anymore, that aren't inspiring. Maybe you started a class, or maybe you started a course or a training. Maybe you bought and gathered things and it's been sitting around. Two things. It may be time to go back to those things because there's a reason why you collected them in the first place. And maybe there are things that you needed to learn before you finished out those projects or creative projects or started those things. There may be some of you too that you're no longer in a vibrational match for it. So maybe you, for example, and this isn't for everybody, but maybe you started college in a certain field or a course, but along the way you realize it's not in alignment or in the essence of who you are, and now it's time to shift gears. The happy ending could be is now you know, and you have the awareness to make the best decisions on how you're feeling now. So for some of you, you may need to walk away from some things that you started that's no longer like inspiring you or making you excited. For some of you, it's about getting back to those things that you've already accumulated. And of course, it takes motivation to go back to those things. Maybe it's something creative. Maybe it's music that you started. Maybe it was a book that you started writing. Being able to go back to it in a fresh light. And that might be calling you. It may be calling you for January 2020. And so this is coming in right now saying you're clearing out anything that's going to keep you from that in the future. It says whatever creative ideas you are having at this time, they are inspired by the divine. So you might be getting aha moments, a different approach to things, different ways of doing things. And be like, but I started this, but I'm doing this. So to go even further, for example, I have been teaching for 12 years. I've been teaching energy therapy classes. I've been teaching people about angels and goddesses and ascended masters. I've been teaching people about law of attraction, energy. And I came into this year and I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. It's not what I'm being called to do. And, when I did my own personal year, I realized it was a 7-year for me, and it was time for me to go in and do some inner work. So I put my teaching on a pause. And it gave me the opportunity to be the student again. I've been taking multiple trainings this year that just inspired me and helped me remember how fulfilling and how uplifting being a student is. And I almost needed to remember that as I create classes and get ready to teach again. I will be back teaching, but it will be in a very different way, in a very different style. So I have files and files of courses and classes and paperwork that I've gathered throughout these 12 years of my practice. And so the happy ending is that I now know what kind of teacher I want to be and what direction I want to move in. I'm now inspired by being the student and being inspired by other teachers. And through that, I can step back into that teacher-mentor role in a new light. So it was a happy ending for me, right? And there are a lot of blessings that are coming from it. So I think that's the best way I can describe what may be happening for you. You may have been feeling like, I just don't want to do this anymore, but this is my passion and I should. And there may be a different way and a different approach. So as you connect with the divine, as you connect even with the energy of Paul the Venetian, he can help you and guide you in a different direction, but you will have to let things go to a degree. And so the answer is simple. You got 2 messages here. It says, don't sweat the small stuff. I love it. It's a little bear. Oh, and the mouse on top. And then we have, call your spirit home. Let me put this book away. This is what I mean about the details. But I can't do that. I invested the money. I invested the time. I invested the energy. But the thing is, if you're not feeling it anymore, it could be draining your energy more than revitalizing you. And it doesn't mean no forever. It could be no, not right now. There's a lot of people going through different kinds of transformations. Maybe you're becoming a mom. Maybe you're graduating something. Maybe you're studying for a different career. Maybe you're embarking on the holistic health and integrating into a new environment. All of that stuff can be scary. All of the fears and the worries and the programs and the conditioning can come up, but it's a happy ending because at the end of it, you're going to become a new evolved being that's going to learn and then teach others. That's what the earth angels do. We learn, and then we teach it to others. So I feel like this is saying, don't sweat the small stuff. Of course, we have card 54 here that equals 9. 9 is about endings and completion. And it's like, how can you release things except that, okay, this is no longer resonating with me and it's okay for me to release this. Call your spirit home. Some of you may have come out of alignment with what makes your heart sing. You may have been shoulding on yourself, meaning I should this and I should that and I need to this and I need to that. And if you've been feeling ornery and prickly and grumpy, this may be a perfect time and an exclamation point message that says, bring it back home, bring it back to your heart center, call on the divine. Some of you, it's right before Thanksgiving. Some of you actually going home in your 3D physical home might be better. Maybe you've been out and about. Maybe you've been on the road. Maybe you've had a lot of transformations with family. Maybe sometimes going back to that essence of home is where you're being called. But in a lot of ways, I feel like home back to your heart. What are your heart's desires? And really, to get to that place, you have to create sacred space for yourself. You have to go back to like the idea of don't sweat the small stuff. There's always going to be things in the 3D world to do. Laundry, cleaning up the house, organizing, sweeping, cooking. There's all these things that always will need to be done. But it's to what degree degree is that enveloping your life? To what degree are you creating quality of life and really nourishing your relationships with people and connection and really getting out and being in alignment with people, other people who are in your alignment? That's where the true essence of living is. It's not those mundane responsibilities of those have-tos and shoulds of the 3D material world. Now, of course, we need to pay bills. Of course, we need to cook dinner and do the laundry. Those things need to be done. But if it's something that's being fixated on and it has to be absolutely perfect before you do anything else, it's really just going to create low vibrational energy and more have-tos and shoulds in your world. So the Nature's Whispered card is potential gateway. Interesting. Again, here's that heart energy, bringing it back to your heart. We have the 5, which is change. One of the messages I'm getting with this is you could be by sweating the small stuff, you could be missing out on something, a potential gateway of something more. You could be missing out on a potential opportunity to meet a new person. Sweating the small stuff and getting away from the essence of who you are and how you want to feel could be keeping you from that which you truly desire. Maybe some of you feeling like this is never going to happen. I've been doing all this work. It's not fair. I'm so exhausted. Come back to your spirit home. Come back to your own self and reset. We have like a month and a half left of this year. And it could be a really good time. I call it like a come to Jesus session with yourself. Like it's about time to just face it. Maybe it's addictive tendencies. Maybe things are monopolizing your time and distraction you. It could be social media. It could be Netflix. It could be food. It could be drama TV. Now, of course, we can all watch those things in small doses or do those things in small doses, but I would really love you to be mindful of how much those things are monopolizing your time. And this could be a message that something could be opening to you, and the universe really needs you to be in alignment with your spirit, experiencing grace to really be able to see it, to be able to receive the blessing, the miracle that is already in your vibration. It's just you elevating that space to match it. And then the final message here, rising above. Of course. See, once again, there's this energy of lifting your heart, opening up to grace. So the affirmation that it says, I see only beauty and grace. And there's that word again. I love it. Grace. Grace, my interpretation of grace, is what God imposes on us for a job well done, for us continuing to go to that high vibration of unconditional love, seeking support and guidance from that energy. So if you're in a space where things aren't working out for you or you're just exhausted, I feel like this is a reminder for you to turn your face and your energy and your heart to the divine. It could be even going outside and getting some sun energy to replenish you. A couple minutes, activates that vitamin D on your skin, fills your body with it. You get that natural joy, pleasure energy. Again, that's a message that I keep getting this week, is tapping into the essence of joy and pleasure and what lights you up, and really removing your energy from all those things that are making you grumpy. Shift your energy, shift your focus. And I feel like God is saying, come to me first. And when you're in my vibration, I will show you, I will light up the happy ending. I will light up the path for you. This is the way. And I'm ending it there. So those of you who chose pile 2, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe if you feel guided. If you want to work with me, there is a link in the description below. You can go to my website and learn about more of what I do. Of course, the cards that I've used are in the description below, and the donation link to my channel if you feel guided. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, so for those of you who chose pile 3, the number 9 and the completion card, welcome. Let me see here. So right off the bat, one of the messages that I'm getting is I just see the universe giving you a high five. They want to reward you for a job well done. You probably finished something, or you came into an awareness or an aha moment. Shadow work is coming up. So maybe those of you who chose pile 3 are coming to a completion. You've had a lot of aha moments and awarenesses on your spiritual journey. And I just see the universe like jumping up and down and giving you a high five and a reward for a job well done. Things are coming to completion. And they're just saying, yes, you got it. Congratulations. Wow, I love that. It's such a cool energy to experience. Okay, so the guide that comes up, oh, I love it. Lady Portia. So her message is divine order. Look at these colors. This is the spiritual colors. It is the third eye. It's the crown chakra. I love it. So it says, do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. So some of you, as we talked about, like that aha moment, that high five. So maybe you've had an epiphany about something. Maybe you've had an awareness. Maybe you've been observing and you're like, oh, I finally get it. Or maybe through your own meditations, maybe through your own intuitive thoughts and experiences through observation, you've had aha moments. And so I feel like this card is saying action will be upon you, and you'll need to do something with this information. So I feel like they're saying, do what you feel is right. Now you really got to be in your heart to take action. So this is almost like an imperative message to tell you that the next steps for you, as I hear the sirens coming, right? Sirens are Archangel Michael, who again is this purple color. So again, this is another message that Archangel Michael is there for you as well. So one of the messages I'm getting is that you need to be in the heart, in your feeling body for the next steps. Some of you may have the habit of going into the mental mind and thinking and trying to analyze what you think is right, but the heart may be saying something differently. And this may be an internal battle of what you think you should do or what you feel is right for yourself. So I want to shine a light on that part, and Lady Portia is going to help you with that. And of course, Archangel Michael, he's the guardian of light, he's the protector energy, he's like the earth angel's bodyguard. So if you're needing to come out of a comfort zone, I feel like Michael is saying, I got your back, I'm here with you. I don't know if you can hear those sirens, but they're just getting louder. Do you hear the beeping? Okay, it passed. So Michael is saying, hi, I'm here with you, I'm part of it. And he's saying, I've got your back, or I have your back, whatever the grammatical way of saying it is. I have got your back. You're not alone. This should be an exciting time. It should be an exciting time for you, those who chose pile 3. I just want to check in with her here. Of course, everything needs to happen in divine and perfect order. So there may be things that you're waiting for right now, and it's not because it's not anything you're not doing, or it's not anything that you're missing. There's divine order to the steps. So replenishing your energy, recharging, tapping into the essence of pleasure and joy can help you stay in alignment with that divine order. So let me see. Lady Portia helps us to do what is right morally and spiritually for our soul's growth. Let me see. Justice is another word that's come up. So this could be a legal issue for some of you, and maybe you've taken all the steps up into a point, and now it's just a waiting game. And I feel like Lady Portia is letting you know there is a divine order. You can call on her for assistance with justice. Of course, Archangel Michael, he's an angel of justice and fairness. He helps work with the powers that be. So I feel like we may be shifting into another energy for those of you who may be going through like a legal issue or separation, or something where a decision needs to be made. It could be you asked for a raise and you're waiting for an answer or something. So the work you did up until this point is done. And I feel like there's a divine order that's saying, we've got your back. An important lesson is unfolding, and it may take some time. So interesting. Of course, we have decide the outcome. We were just talking about the legal system. I cannot even, this is like an exclamation point, because I felt like we were shifting energies a little bit. So for some of you who are tuning in, this could have also be with like a legal issue, and maybe you've got some challenges or things are out of your hand. It says decide the outcome. I feel like they're saying energetically, you get to decide how you want to feel about the outcome of the situation. So it's easy to feed the fear of, I feel out of control. I don't know what's going to happen. What if this doesn't work out? I'm really afraid. So in this energy, you're getting to know yourself on deeper levels. But as a conscious being right now, as an earth angel that's awakened, I don't think you would be here if you're not, you get an opportunity to go within and decide, I declare I want to feel loved in my life. I declare. Now, of course, it can't come from the ego space, right? Well, I want to win because this person is no good, or I want to win because I did all this stuff. If you're coming from the ego place, definitely sit with Lady Portia, the Archangel Michael. They're all about justice and fairness. So things are going to unfold for the best and highest good of all concerned. But you get to decide the outcome energetically. I feel like your guides are saying use your energetic manifestation power, that feminine magnetic energy to determine the outcome. If it's wanting to feel a certain way, go into your body and feel those feelings. If you want to attract love in your life, you got to feel deep levels of love for yourself, right? If you want to attract, money or a peaceful job or an environment, you've got to feel that in your body and radiate that out. So I feel like the divine here wants to empower you and saying, decide the outcome. Like, you get to decide what happens, and you start with that energetically declaring, this is what's right for me. This is how I want to feel. This is what is a need of mine. So the Nature's Whisper Sky says, trust your own understanding. I mean, I could not have chosen better cards that are all in alignment. I mean, look at these colors, friends. Trust your own understanding. Do what you feel is right. Decide the outcome, and you're coming up to a completion. So I feel like this is kind of like the end result of all this. And then finally, giving birth. It says, the affirmation is, I am bringing forth new and dynamic energy into the world. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So here, let me just move these over here. As you declare and decide the outcome, that's what's best and highest for the greater good, you're now giving birth to new energy, new approaches to things. Now, it's not lost on me that the work I do is very untraditional. Not a lot of people understand it, and I'm not for everybody. But the work that I do is a calling. It is a deep-seated pull. I have to do it. Friends, I have spent many, many years depressed, confused, angry. And it was the moment I answered the call. It was the moment I opened to the divine that I said, God, work through me. Show me how to shine a light on the world, how to be a blessing. Of course, now this intuitive gift comes and me being able to access that, but that didn't come without me having to do my own inner work, right? And so I feel like there are cycles. There are parts of you that are no longer needed. There are parts of you that are being shed. And now you're getting an opportunity to tap into new essence, deeper levels of information intuitively that people may or may not understand. You may be giving birth. Again, here's that color again, right? Those colors. I mean, it's all throughout. And of course, we have the token orange. I think the orange came up in every single reading, which is pleasure. That's been a theme. That's been a vibration. Of course, we're just finishing out Scorpio energy, which is all about pleasure. I very much enjoyed this Scorpio energy that we just had. But I also had done a lot of inner work to be able to appreciate and enjoy the Scorpio energy. So now we're getting ready to go into Sagittarius. We have the Sagittarius new moon coming in. Sagittarius are like fire, right? Fire energy. It's passionate. And it also it can invoke the energy of judgment. That could be something that could be coming up with this new moon in Sag, is judgments. And so be mindful of how you're being hard on yourself, right? Be mindful of old programs or that critic that's within you, because you could be creating that critic outside of you, right? This isn't never going to happen. I can't do it. Nobody supports me. And of course, here come the sirens again. So you're giving birth to new energies, new ideas. You're giving birth to a new essence of yourself. And it's going to feel different. It's going to feel new. It's going to bring up fears and worries, hence Archangel Michael coming into the reading. But know that everything happens in divine order and you get to decide the end result and how you want to feel in it. So trust your own understanding. There may be a pause in action right now. So tapping into what brings you joy until things start to unfold. Again, I'm bringing forth new and dynamic energy into the world. Yes, you are, my friend. And I commend you for showing up for it. I praise you for being a beacon of light in the world. Remember, Earth angels are a minority in so many ways. We have come to this planet not to fit in. But as a human, we're biologically wired to want to fit in, especially the feminine gatherer energy, right? So it's a normal tug of war inside. But remember, we live in a world, we're blessed to live in a world, or many of us are blessed to be in places and live in areas where we have the freedom to be an individual, to go out. And, I think it's so beautiful here in America. Women can move anywhere they want, by themselves, with themselves. We can access all levels of jobs. There's freedom of speech. There's freedom of religion. There's all these beautiful laws, or there's all these beautiful, what's the word I want to use? There's all these beautiful, I don't know the word I want to use, gifts that we get to have living on the cusp of 2020. So really sitting in gratitude, especially as we come on Thanksgiving, sitting in gratitude for all the gifts and the blessings that we get to have that our ancestors didn't. Right? So you may have experiences in your life right now that your mom or your grandmother didn't get to have. And I, on a regular basis, try to sit in the energy of gratitude of all the gifts that I get to have as a feminine in this world, and being able to do this work. It really is like moving mountains in so many ways. So I thank you for joining me. I thank you for showing up to this work. Of course, if I can support you in any way, the link to my information is below. I cannot thank you enough for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you feel guided. Let me put these out and I'll close space for us. And I want to thank all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God, source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance for you today. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done, in mind, body, spirit, and emotions in all ways. So if you've stayed up until this point, thank you. I love you so much. God loves you. Trust in the divine. Trust your intuition. And I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.